those they left behind. I humbly request the spirit of compassion that is the hallmark of our nation for these bereaved families. Promotions in our armed forces are never given lightly, and posthumous promotions are the highest mark of respect for duty performed even unto death. Accordingly, I have approved the following. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anela is promoted to the rank of Wing Commander. Flying Officer Manan Chum Ampedu is promoted to the rank of Flight Lieutenant. Sergeant Ernest Adomensa is promoted to the rank of Flight Sergeant. These are not just symbolic gestures. They represent the rightful place these officers have earned in our Republic's roll of honor, and the benefits due to their families will be reflected in these new ranks. The Chief of the Defense Staff will oversee the ceremonial presentation of the posthumous promotion insignias to their families. Our other colleagues who were civilians will be posthumously recognized at the next National Honors Ceremony. The next decision that the government has made is for the creation of a Children's Support Fund for the children of the victims of the 6th August helicopter crash. The purpose of this fund is clear. It is to ensure that the children left behind will never be deprived of the opportunities, the care, and the security that their parents worked so hard to provide for them. We Ghanaians live in a culture that upholds collective responsibility, especially where community and family are concerned. Think about it. How often do we meet one another and ask about their child, and in so doing, claim that child as ours? It is common to hear us say, "How is my daughter?" Or, "How is our small boy?" We take on the responsibility of raising the children of our relatives who are not as financially capable as us, or paying the school fees of a domestic worker's child. Sometimes we even pay for the medical cost of children who are complete strangers to us. And that is what Dr. Omani Boama did when he pledged to pay for surgery for Seto, a physically disabled 9-year-old boy, so that he would no longer be reliant on the wheelchair that he had been using to get around. After fully paying for the surgery, Omani could have continued with his own affairs and not giving another thought to the boy or his situation. Because Omani had a full life with a demanding job, a wife and 3 children of his own to look after. Yet somehow, even with all those constraints on his time, Dr. Omani Boama set aside a few quiet moments and he put pen to paper. And he wrote a poem for Seto before his surgery, because he knew that the little boy would most surely be afraid. And in his poem for Seto, Omani wrote, and I quote that poem, he said, "You're not alone. You've got me, friends who care, family and love, always there to share." The Children's Support Fund for the children of the victims of the 6th August helicopter crash, as it has officially been named, will cover education from primary school through to tertiary or technical training, healthcare, including medical insurance and specialized care where required, and welfare support clothing, shelter, and essential living expenses. I wish to express my thanks to the Stanbic Bank that has opened an account with an initial contribution of 500,000 Ghana cedis. Government will make an immediate seed contribution to this fund and will operationalize and publish a detailed framework of the Children's Support Fund within the next 30 days. My office will ensure that the Children's Support Fund is sustained for the long term with annual public reporting on how it has been used. Furthermore, we'll create channels for contributions from our citizens, from corporate organizations, professional associations, and our international partners. Imagine the impact it will have on each of these children who have been left behind by the death of their parent, to be told by each of the adult citizens of this nation through our contributions, just like Omani told Seto, that you're not alone, you've got me, always there to share. Let us also leave our 8 comrades today with a promise that their children will not be alone, and that they've got us, and we'll always be there to share. We'll probably walk with them into their future. Before I conclude, on behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I wish to express our deepest gratitude to the bereaved families. I thank you for your courage and your dignity in the face of this unimaginable loss. To the Ghana Armed Forces and Emergency Services, I thank you for your swift and professional response to this accident. To our religious leaders and our traditional authorities, to our members of the diplomatic corps, civil society, and citizens who are the very pillars of this nation, I say thank you for praying with us, for comforting the families, and for offering every form of support to ensure that we made it through the darkest days of this tragedy. To the heads of state from around the world, including Africa and West Africa, who either visited or gave me personal calls or sent messages of condolence and support on behalf of their people, we extend our deepest gratitude. It is this solidarity that affirms the strength of our national and international spirit. In this final farewell, I would also like again to thank the 8 officers and personnel, our comrades, our friends, our brothers, for the love, dedication, and service that they give to this country. I pray that this funeral will bring closure to a grieving nation, and that a new dawn will break in which we can look forward with pride as Ghanaians to a prosperous nation. And that today we pray that this will be the beginning as the Almighty God heals our land. I thank you. I thank you. You will always be in our hearts. You will always be remembered, and we will always revere your memory. May God continue to bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And I invite Group Captain Francisca Lanyani for the announcements. So the Chief Imam is asking of leave to go and continue another national duties. So Chief Imam, thank you so much for coming.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, distinguished mourners, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the state and the bereaved families, I warmly welcome you to the Independence Square for the burial service of our fallen heroes. We are indeed grateful to you all for your presence to mourn with us. Before we take the announcement, may I respectfully acknowledge the presence of our dignitaries who are present with us this morning. This morning, we are privileged to have in attendance the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Also in attendance, we have the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman. We are privileged again this morning to have with us the Vice President of Liberia, His Excellency Jeremiah Pan Kun. Present with us this morning, we have the Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana, Right Honorable Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin. We also have with us the Acting Chief Justice, His Lordship Paul Bafuboni. Also present are members of the Council of State. In attendance, we also have the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Lordina Mahama. Your Excellencies, distinguished mourners, ladies and gentlemen, we also have present former President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Also present is former President of Ghana, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor. Former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Former First Lady of Ghana, Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings. Former Second Lady of Ghana, Her Excellency Samira Bawumia. We are also honored to have in attendance the ECOWAS Commissioner Ambassador Abdel Fattah Musa. We also have the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Omar Aleu Toure. We acknowledge the presence of members of the Diplomatic Corps, several ministers of state and government officials, representatives of the various political parties. We acknowledge your presence. We also have the Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ejepong, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Christian Tete Yono, the Chief of the Army Staff, Major General Lawrence Kweku Betanu, the Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Livinus Bessing, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Eric Ajin-Frimpong. We also have heads of sister security services, traditional leaders, and families of our fallen heroes. We also acknowledge the attendance of the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band, the Militant Triumphant Choir, the Winneba Youth Choir, the Army Wives Association, the Navy Wives Association, the Air Wives Organization, several groups, associations, and organizations. We also acknowledge the media for their presence. Your Excellencies, distinguished mourners, ladies and gentlemen, once again on behalf of the state and the bereaved families, I would like to say thank you all for your presence and support. May God continue to protect us. Your Excellencies, distinguished mourners, shall we now take the following announcements. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is Sankofa Yenchi. I would like to acknowledge also the presence of the former First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, and also Mrs. Fulera Liman, a former First Lady. Shall we now take the following announcements? Right after the service, we shall all move to the military cemetery Chadu for interment. And this is where the burial procession will start. Kindly take note of the order in which the procession will take. We shall first have the escort taking the lead. They will be followed by the firing party. Then the band will follow. The clergy will follow the band, and then the bodies of our fallen heroes in vehicles with pallbearers will follow the clergy. Insignia bearers will follow, and then we shall have the chief mourners, and then the president's special representatives will also follow. Mourners in uniform, and then mourners not in uniform will follow in that order. Last but not the least, we shall have the rear detachment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I wish to thank you all for your presence. God bless us all.
So thank you very much, Group Captain Francisca Lanyani, for the announcements. We've now moved into the final
The final
commendation.
funeral rites of the 8 men who perished in the helicopter crash last week. From the beginning, where we had the casket party, the guard of honor, and the tributes we have heard from their various organizations, their families, their children, some of them very touching, Alfred. And also we've heard from government officials, the Speaker of Parliament, the Vice President, and also the President himself. We expect that, as you have just heard in that announcement, that the final phase of the ceremony will also take place at the military cemetery in Chadu, not the one here in Osun. So we expect that that will be the final resting place for the 6 men whose remains were brought here today. And Alfred, this is where what we have seen from the beginning is a mix of military burial or military funeral and then state burial as well. But going forward, based on the announcement that has been given, we expect to see a full course of military events to take place in the final phase of this funeral event.
Absolutely. And if you had the CNC, that's the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, the President of the Republic of Ghana, during that speech, he did acknowledge a number of things, including what's going to be happening beyond today. And a special focus was